It's transmission removal time. So let's get this car in the air and get the wheels off.
You ever do something so hilariously, colossally stupid while working on a car?
Down.
I know half of you are nodding yes, and the other half are going, no, I'm perfect. Clearly, what you're witnessing here, and why I had to interrupt, is that you can see me in the process of doing something colossally stupid. Clearly, my brain isn't working. I got this off. I had to stop the camera. It was driving me nuts. And what had happened was, let me see if I can find the piece. Not this one. Yeah, here it is. So, first two bolts I got off, the other two were giving me trouble, and that's because I broke the original rule that we all learned: righty, tighty, lefty, loosey. I was doing it backwards on those last two, and it didn't click in my brain until I had the breaker bar in one place, and then foolishly, I was trying to use my very nice Wera 3/8 ratchet to loosen, because that was the only other piece I had, and I had an extension on it, and I put all my weight on it going to the right, and oh, this isn't the one. Where is it? This one. I snapped it. I snapped this thing. Come on, focus, stupid. It's not gonna focus, is it? There it is. I snapped this thing. So, and as it snapped, as my body weight brought it to the ground, I realized I was spinning it the wrong way. And I just started laughing, because how can you not? And in the process, this is the Wera tools. This is supposed to, this is where you change the direction. This just spins now. So I damaged the internals of this very nice socket wrench, which really sucks, but it is very much a live and learn moment, and take a minute to just think about what you're doing. And this is supposed to be a video about removing the transmission, but it's all starting with me having just an absolute stupid moment in the dumbest thing. I should have just put this down. I should have loosened the lugs before I put it up. Just a comedy of errors. But regardless, as I go forward, I'll take a minute to think, to make sure I'm doing the right thing. So here are the steps for what we're about to do with the transmission. I already removed the radiator, so the coolant lines that go to the automatic transmission are already removed from the radiator. Obviously, I'm going to remove them from the back side of the transmission now, just to get those two lines out of the way. After that, I'm going to remove all the shift linkage that's connected to the transmission. I'm going to remove the speedometer cable from the back of it, and there's a few other things I think I have to get out of the way as well. Then after that, I'm going to unhook the back of the drive shaft from the rear axle, and then I can pull that out of the back of the transmission. I'll put a little plastic baggie or a glove on the end of the transmission where the drive shaft goes in, because you can leak transmission fluid out of there. So I'll just zip tie a bag on the back of that just to catch anything that might drip out. Once that's done, then I will get a pan under the transmission. We'll start by loosening the rear bolts, the bolts to the back of the trans pan, and then slowly work our way forward to slowly get the pan to dip and then drip fluid. And then as the amount of fluid coming out is reduced, I'll loosen more bolts, and then finally we can drop it, and then all the fluid will come out. Then we'll put the pan back on. Howdy. Okay. That's draining, almost drained. Gonna get the pan down, and then let the rest of it drain out, put the pan back on. Then there's bolts you gotta get out of the torque converter, linkages, and we are almost ready to do this. A dust bunny just came by. I thought it was a huge spider and almost shit myself. And then I think it's 4 bolts that connect it to the back of the engine. And I have a trans jack. I'm curious. I don't think I'm going to have enough room for that. All right, so as I was in there loosening the bolts, get the exhaust off the manifold,
I figured it was easier to just take the starter out too, because that's just 3 bolts, and that gave me access to another bolt where this connects to the engine. And then I remember too, there's 2 hangers at the back. So I had to get the rear hanger by the leaf spring and then the hanger for the muffler. But I used the trans jack to support it up closer to the engine. And then I used the floor jack to support the muffler so it didn't just fall to the ground, because it was about to. And then I'm sitting here realizing I'm not going to just be able to pull this out, which means that's an excuse to run to Home Depot and get some tools. All right, back from Home Depot. I figured while I was there I should probably get smart, because every time I go to the car I go, I should use safety glasses. Then I don't remember where I put mine, so while I was there I grabbed these, because I also grabbed this wonderful little thing. You know what this means. This means we can do slow-mo and get sparks and do the cool guy build bullshit B-roll.
And then we're going to see how we do this. I have the trans jack. Like I said, I don't know if I can get this car in the air high enough to actually use it, which is a huge bummer. So I might have to use my floor jack with like some wood to support it and bring it down that way. I'm not sure yet. When we get there, we'll figure that out. Before I raise the rear of the car, though, I'm going to loosen those lugs and get those wheels off too, because we're eventually going to have to get that axle out. And so I might as well get those wheels off. And though I guess I could leave the wheels on and just roll the axle out. Maybe I'll do that instead. That's probably a better idea. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. So, but I still have that other side tire to take off, and I know the direction that I'm supposed to spin them in now, so that's good. So, yeah, as I've been talking, I've been putting B-roll over this, so hopefully by the time you cut back to me speaking to you, I will have a Mustang with a detached transmission and a removed drive shaft. Let's go. I can't fucking believe I did this.
All right, so transmission is out. Fought me a little bit there. It was just getting hung up where the bell housing meets the back of the engine at the top part, but all the bolts are out, so I just used the power of the crowbar to separate them. The transmission is separated. Next steps after this, I'd like to do a video with a bit more progress, even though for me this feels like good progress. But still, you know, more is always better. Just shot a ton of footage though while doing that, but it's condensed into nothing here. So in the next video, I think I would like to get the engine out and drop the rear axle out as well, since, you know, there's the only thing holding that in place is suspension and brake lines, basically. And then once the engine's out, I can start dismantling all the, I mean, I could do it before then too, but getting all the front suspension and steering bits out of the way as well. From there, I actually haven't finished pulling all the wiring out because I'm keeping some of it in place in case I need to pull some of it back through. But yeah, I think we're about to finish getting all the stuff off the car. Maybe that'll be the next video. That'll be the theme of the next video. Will be getting everything off that we need to get off. So then moving forward, we're either cleaning things up or installing. So that's kind of cool to say. I think that's going to be the more exciting and also a tricky part. Like taking things out is just taking things out. Putting things in properly will be the interesting thing. But so far this has been fun. The feeling of getting the gearbox, the transmission out was a good one because it was such a major piece of the puzzle. And now I'm looking at Craigslist because now it's time to start actually spending money instead of just spending time and effort. But whatever, that's what you got to do to get this thing out of the garage, right? All right, there we go. Episode 3. Thanks for watching.